Hey everyone, welcome back to Blockcast. It's been a while since we've done one of these, had a bit of a hiatus, but it's time to get back into it. And what better way than to review my 2023 predictions, which I recorded, I think, in January of 2023. Time to have a look back, see how I went with some of my predictions, and let's dig into it, hey? So looking back, some of these kind of feel pretty funny because they're like easy ones to guess, I guess. My first prediction was that ETH staking unlock would occur. And even at the time, I think I said this is pretty obvious. And that occurred in April of 2023 when the Shanghai upgrade of the Ethereum took place. So Ethereum unlocked, not going to delve into that one too much. Tick in the box, very easy one to tick. The second one that I predicted was that when that unlock occurred, that there would be a large ETH unstaking because a lot of people who had put their ETH into the Beacon chain when it first started had locked it up for a long time. They'd obviously wanted to realize some of the gains that they'd experienced during this period in time. And so I'm going to give myself like a half tick for that because that kind of did occur. We did see a bit of the Ethereum come out of the system, but it wasn't very long until people started flowing in once people had the confidence that it was there. So give myself a half tick for that. ETH unstaking did cause a bit of a push down in the ETH that was being staked as people tried to realize some of the gains, but in general, it kind of rolled onto it and people got confidence in it and people started using it more and more staking. So half a tick. Here's a cool one that I got to though, is that I did predict that even though we're going to see that downward spike, I said that we're going to see a huge uptake in Ethereum. A lot more Ethereum is going to be staked. So at the time, in January 2023, there was 15.9 million ETH staked. And so I said, no, that's definitely going to go up. The number's going to go up. And I predicted it to go up to about 20 million ETH would be staked by the end of 2023. Well, right now it's the end of 2023. There is 28.5 million ETH staked. So clearly, confidence is huge with ETH. Confidence is huge with staking. And there's so many new liquid staking services out there. It kind of only really started with Lido and Rocket Pool, and now you've got a whole bunch of Swell. There's a whole bunch of them that exist now, as well as your centralized versions of it as well. ETH staking is really taking off. I don't see that changing anytime soon. So, yep, going to give myself a tick for that one. My fourth prediction, I kind of feel I wasn't really stretching with this one, is that I said the ETH flippening will not happen. And so the ETH flippening is when the market cap of Ethereum goes past Bitcoin, Bitcoin's market cap. I said that's not going to happen in 2023. Clearly hasn't. Bitcoin in a bear market always outperforms. So I kind of feel that was a crappy prediction, to be honest. That was really easy. I will do a 2024 predictions in another video, and I'll probably hint there that I'm going to say that ETH flipping is still not going to happen in 2024. 2025, if we get a big market, I reckon it probably will. And it's inevitable. It doesn't really matter because they're very different things, but yeah. Got that one right, but geez, that was an easy one to get. Number 5, layer 2 usage on Ethereum will continue to climb. So clearly, I had a really high Ethereum theme at the start of the year. I guess during 2022, so much fear in the market, so much uncertainty. So Ethereum was clearly a focus of mine then to really see the developments that was going on and narrow in on that. And so I said that layer 2 usage would continue to rise, and I specifically used a metric of transactions over a 30-day period. I said that they would double. So at that time, Optimism was doing 15.4 million transactions over a 30-day period, and Arbitrum was doing 8.5 million transactions over a 30-day period. My prediction was that they would double by the end of 2023. I couldn't have been more wrong. It went the entire opposite direction. So they're halved. So there is roughly around 8 million transactions over a 30-day period for Optimism, and 4.5 million transactions over a 30-day period for Arbitrum. Way off in the total opposite direction. Why? Why do I think I got that wrong? I think competition. Obviously competition, layer 2s, there's a lot other layer 2 options out there. Obviously Solana has taken off and everyone's really excited about Solana, and quite rightfully they should be. I think people in the bear markets don't use blockchains, so I think we will see these turn around and go back up. But I clearly got this one wrong. They did not take off and get used as much, and I think that's simply because there's no one in the space as much to use it, even though prices are going crazy. And if you're watching this, you're involved, most people don't know, most people don't care, so most people aren't using blockchain. So the layer 2s, well, I think they got their total value locked, still going up on them. Transactions over a 30-day period crashed. Next one, rise of decentralized exchanges. My prediction was that we would continue to see decentralized exchanges take market share from the centralized exchanges. They would continue to grow and grow and grow. Because at the time, Uniswap was obviously, it is the biggest decentralized exchange, and it's really competing, and some days does do more volume than some of the big exchanges out there. My prediction was that we would see more of those, and they would take more of the market share. I think I got it wrong. It's been fairly steady state. I don't think, looking at the numbers of transaction volume in a 24-hour period, it's still the same spike. Sometimes Uniswap's a little bit more, sometimes not. But I don't think I could clearly say that they've definitely risen and taken over. ThorChain's been a big one to kind of come out, which is a kind of cool one. Obviously, decentralized exchange holding custody of Bitcoin to Ethereum, so actually cross-chaining. That's a really cool one that's risen, and the token Rune has really risen in price and is a really great project. But in general, no, I gotta say I got this one wrong. Centralized exchanges are still everyone's go-to, everyone's trust, and as we onboard people into this new bull market, centralized exchanges will still play a big role in that. Decentralized exchanges are still only for the crypto natives, and it will take some time still for that to change. So if I had to guess what would happen for 2024, I would say this is not going to change. In fact, I would say this is the opposite. I reckon centralized exchanges will capture more market share as they onboard people into crypto, because they're how you onboard. You need the fiat on-ramp. They grab a better user experience still, even though I think the decentralized exchanges user experience is getting better. But for me, I'm a crypto native. I know how to use them. It feels comfortable. Other people, they still don't want that. So I think as more people on board, decentralized exchanges still aren't going to be the option for them. So yeah, got that one wrong. Number 7, bear market is over in 2023. So at the time in January, that was only a month past FTX. Everyone was feeling absolutely horrid, myself included. That was a very bad time in the market. Can anyone remember that? It feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest. But at that time, everyone was sure new lows were going in. 12K Bitcoin was on the cards when we'd already bottomed out at 16. I think in January, it'd probably gone back up to around the 18, 19,000 kind of mark. And everyone was talking about 12K Bitcoin and ETH going down. And I said, well, I think the bear market is over. And my basis of that was, I thought the the bottom, was in before FTX. And then FTX happened, and then we went lower. Except for ETH, it didn't go lower. So there wasn't any more bad news to occur. So I kind of predicted that we would get to a point in 2023 where we all agreed the bear market is over. And we'll never all agree. Maybe the bears will finally agree that the bull market is on again once we clip all-time highs, because I know there's still a lot of people, not a lot, there's still some people out there being bearish, thinking that we will still put in lower numbers here. But I think most people agree that the bear market is over. We're now in a bull market and prices can get crazy. So gave that a tick, and that one took a while to come, because I don't think anybody, even myself, really agreed to that till around October, November-ish kind of thing. Really kind of probably led by Bitcoin, obviously, big price up. Solana putting big prices up. The ETF hype for the Bitcoin spot ETF. All that hype rolled the market forward, rolled the prices higher, and I think everyone kind of went, okay, bull market's on. 8th prediction was the Fed pivot will occur. And I specifically said that the Fed pivot would include interest rate cuts. So clearly I got that one wrong. Interest rate cuts have not occurred. Has the Fed pivot happened? Well, in their last meeting, they did kind of say that we're done with rate hikes and we're likely to see cuts in 2024. Is that the pivot? The actual pivot itself, what does it entail? Well, if it's a cut that you're saying is the actual pivot, well, I got that one wrong, and I predicted that. But their language and their attitude has pivoted. Eye of the beholder, maybe. I think the Fed has kind of pivoted in their way they talk about it. and their attitude towards the market. And I think a lot of people are starting to price in that interest rate cut. But on the basis that I said interest rate cuts would occur in 2023, I got that wrong. Number 9, this was the fun one where I put prices out there. Everyone loves price predictions. My price predictions was 30k Bitcoin, 2200 ETH. Way underestimated for Bitcoin, pretty much on the market for ETH. So tick in the box for those ones. Got those price targets right. It's interesting to see, looking back at that how much Bitcoin has outperformed the market compared to Ethereum. Obviously Solana, lots of other altcoins, but big market cap ones. Solana's obviously massively performed. Bitcoin has massively performed. Very clear to most people, especially me, that ETH has not performed yet in the market. It's sitting at 2200, which was my high prediction. And my high prediction for Bitcoin 30,000, and it's at got to 44. It's now sitting on a 41-ish. So got that right. Reflection on that is that ETH has underperformed in comparison. Interesting. And my number 10 prediction, which hurt at the time, which was kind of, we talked about it before, was that I said that the bottom was in. So this was in January when I recorded that. A lot of people were calling for lower prices. But in January, I said, no, I think the bottom is in. And I had that for 2 reasons. One was I thought the bottom was in before FTX collapsed. And then FTX collapsed and Bitcoin put a new bottom in. So I couldn't see any more issues that could push the price lower. Everybody who had sold had sold. Everybody who was scared had left. Except unless Binance all of a sudden fell. But Binance's stuff is all behind us now to a degree as well with CZ gone. So ETH didn't put another low in either. So ETH's low is, over a year and a half ago. Whereas Bitcoin's is basically a year ago now, just after the FTX collapse. So got that one right clearly. The bottom was definitely in January 2023. And we've continued to just kind of grind higher. Lots of, nothing movement in between. And there was a fair range for most of the year where I think that was the apathy stage of the market. But we didn't put prices lower in. So I'm going to give myself a tick in that one. Clearly in January calling for that where the bottom was in. When a lot of fear was in the market. A lot of people didn't think it. A lot of people sitting on the fence. And I was on the fence, but I still, this is a guessing game when we make predictions. But I got that one right. The bottom was in. The market's moving on. So how did I go? How did I go with my predictions? I reckon I did pretty well. I think some of them, looking back, were so easy to get right that it's not funny, like all those ETH ones. About staking. About how much more ETH would be staked. That was just so easy to predict back then, but that's with hindsight now. Of course it was going to be. Funny that the layer 2s didn't actually take off as much, and I think I didn't take into account how much people leave the space and don't use blockchain during a bear market. So I expect those numbers to turn around a bit, but certainly not going to predict that they'll go up to doubling what I kind of said back then. Got the pricing right. Kind of had a good feel for the market, so I did pretty well. Pat myself on the back. How do you think I did? How did you think I went? Let us know in the comments. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I will formulate some of my predictions for 2024 because it's a bit of fun, a bit of nice to have a bit of a forward think, and I look forward to reflecting on it again to see how I go. So hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. Should be getting more of these happening again soon, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.